Welcome, welcome, welcome to our soulful morning of going deep within and realizing ourselves, who we are, why we are, the way we are. Let's close our eyes in gratitude to divine power in and around us, that surrounds us, protects us, guards us, shields us from any untoward energies that may be present in us or outside of us. Let's be grateful to the divine beings in this realm or the others, in this dimension or the others, in this time and space or the others, for always being around us, being available whenever we require. All we have to do is tap within the infinite possibility, potential, and ask for guidance. And knowing the universal law, ask and you shall receive. Whatever we ask, especially for guidance, our ancestors in that realm or the higher beings will come and assist us. Once we know this, then there's nothing to fear. Today being the new moon, a day for new beginnings, new manifestation, let's just simply grow inwards and search for our true calling. Why are there things which are still missing in us? Why are we not able to tap into our infinite wisdom, knowing that our soul's journey has been eons long, eons of lives, and that it has tapped into its infinite potential? But what about us, the earthlings? Why are we still stuck in the rut, in the fear? Today, let's manifest the life that we wish to live, especially on a spiritual level, on a soul level. When everything we follow is with love and light, then what kind of person do I want to be? And whatever is your manifestation, take a minute or two and say it out loud. Let the sound frequency travel through your body and go into universe so that there's a dialogue happening in the universe. What is it that you want? And have you only thought of it or have you asked for it out loud? Today is a day to manifest. So please go in there. See the gems that are waiting to be unfolded. On a spiritual level, I repeat, can we request that whatever happens, I will always follow the path of love and light. No matter anybody comes in front of me and tries to coax me, agitate me, I will maintain my balance and calm by not letting my power shift. Oftentimes, we human beings do something and repent later, but the deed is done. How about telling ourselves, I am responsible for my well being, for my spiritual well being, and I will be taking 200% responsibility of whatever I do? If I'm cheating away time from my children or spouse or friends or anybody else by diverting my attention to a task which is not so important, then may I be reminded to be pulled back into the present, to be available for the people who require me, to listen to them rather than doing absolutely unimportant stuff on any of the gadgets that I own. Can I tell myself that my physical well being is my own priority and I will take it as an importance? I will do half an hour of workout every day, whether it's yoga or whether it's a walk or whether it's dance or any kind of activity, that I must commit that much time to me. Because if my physical body is strong, my spiritual body will become stronger. Can I promise to myself and to my higher self that whatever comes in my life, I will learn to accept, because by now I'm aware that I have written the script of my life. I've co created it with my angels, guardians, and higher beings to unfold this life's truth. And knowingly, unknowingly, I have complained, why does this happen to me? And I will stop asking the question why, but I will start accepting and living the life with grace, with love, with blessings, knowing that at every given point of time, I am never alone. And after we feel we are complete with the dialogue that we have created for the higher self, with the spiritual world, with the universe, whatever we need in this world, be it financial, comfortable, may we manifest that. For those of you who feel, can affirm that I pray and I wish that I am ever expansive. My heart is ever expansive. My body autocorrects to the perfect weight at the right time. My body responds to me, and if I abuse it, it retaliates. And then I'm immediately guided to pay attention to my body and stop the abuse that I've been doing knowingly or unknowingly. Wherever I turn, prosperity follows because I follow with love and light. Considering the growth mindset for my highest best and the other's highest best at all given points of time. When all I manifest is good for others, then knowing that I will be granted that. And I commit to thing, to the shanch, or to whatever you want to commit. That I will be involved in acts of loving kindness, acts of charity, acts of service. Whether I choose a day or whether I do it every day or whether I do it weekly or monthly, let this lesson be reminded to me. Because if I don't do the acts of service now, I will be forced to do acts of service in some other form. Because ultimately, life has to be balanced. If I get, I have to give. When I give, I get. And that's how the circle is. It cannot be stagnant of only receiving and not giving. So whether it's love, whether it's kindness, whether it's compassion, whether it's money, I must be reminded to flow in that loop. May I be infinitely blessed with joy, with strength, with compassion, with kindness, with abundance, with utmost harmony within me and outside me, with the people that I live and the body that I live in. Tapping in this beautiful power of love, which surrounds everywhere, which is of paramount importance. And may I affirm to myself that I am empowered, enlivened, enlightened. I'm on that path every day to reach that goal. That I'm learning to love and approve of myself, that I trust life, I am safe, that my body supports me in all my endeavors to become more fitter, to become more healthier. I'm willing to forgive myself and others for whatever has happened, and I let go of the victim mindset of the blame game. And I embrace whatever is happening with utmost acceptance. I affirm to myself that I am willing to change and drop the old conditioning and societal pressure. I'm willing to learn to accept that I can breathe fully, and I definitely breathe freely and fully at all given space and time. that I'm always super safe and surrounded by angels, guardians, mentors. I'm never alone. That I believe, I trust the process of life, that life agrees with me, that all is well. I assimilate the new and allow the old to flow through me every moment, every day. That I tap into faith by affirming that the world is safe. I am safe. The world is friendly, helpful, compassionate, kind, joyous. Whatever is there in me is what I see outside. So if I see something of lack of love outside, then that must be a reminder for me to flow more in love, to flow more in acceptance. And then the world unfolds for me at that given point of time. May I always be guided and surrounded, and may I be able to manifest in these beautiful 2 weeks or whatever is coming my way, especially today. Because, like a little new moon, with nothingness begins something and then keeps growing until it becomes a full moon. Similarly, my manifestations, my soul's expansiveness, my soul's journey is beginning, and I am responsible. So be it. So it is. So it is. So it is. Be blessed, my loved ones, my special ones. Let's share our space this morning by going back into the beautiful book, Messages from the Masters. This book is beautiful, and just for today, we'll conclude one page of this particular chapter, and then we will move on to the next beautiful chapter. So, yesterday we concluded here, and I repeat and I start the day with the same beautiful thought. Our task is not to follow Sai Baba, but to be Sai Baba, which means to be in love in action. We must be love in action, and we must manifest loving service that comes through us at all given points of times. Years ago, I spoke at a huge New Age meeting held in LA. Nearly 40,000 people registered and paid money to hear a tremendous assortment of speakers, ranging from serious university professors and scientists to upstart opportunists hawking their wares. Physicists rubbed elbows with cult leaders. I became very confused. How do you sort out these people? Can you tell anything by these credentials? I felt like protecting all 40,000. It was easy to rule out the speakers who came from other galaxies. Second, 95% of the channelers were either communicating with their subconscious mind or were consciously producing their messages from beyond. This is very beautiful. All of you know that we are all channels. If we want, we can be channels. Now, what are channelers? Who are channelers? People who have cleared their consciousness, people who have tapped into their faith. Now, in past life regression, also they're able to see a life which teaches them something about improving the quality of this present day life. Past, these channelers are mediums for the higher energies, high frequency thoughts to channel through them and producing messages from beyond the human potential. Third, Dr. Weiss says, I could ignore the tons of crystals being sold from hundreds of booths in the convention area. However, the music was nice, the people extraordinarily friendly. So the magic of crystals is forever there. The more you tap into it, the more healing it is. And crystals are of gazillion varieties. And whoever buys these crystals must know the crystals are never yours. You're only the guardians at a particular time. When the time comes, the crystals disappear. They just disappear. They do the vanishing act. And then you know it's time, it has moved on. I attended many lectures and workshops. Some of the speakers were brilliant, particularly scientists. Clearly, they had a great deal to teach. Others were terrible. As I listened to speakers make one outlandish statement after another without any confirming information of studies, I tried to gauge the audience's reaction. Much to my dismay, I saw many people just nodding their heads, accepting without thought or challenge. Most of the 40,000 had come because they wanted something more in their lives. Many wanted some confirmation of their own psychic and intuitive experiences. They wanted new experiences and insights. They wanted to grow. They wanted to be stimulated, just like us. Every morning, why are we tapping into these beautiful energies? Because we want to grow, we want to experience, we want to hear what is happening in the spiritual world. They wanted what we all want, a way to find and experience joy and peace. Now, this book gradually turns us inwards by telling us accept, 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 love, 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 flow, flow, flow. These are the messages which are coming to us every freaking morning, every blessed morning, because we are all looking for something, and that something is there within us. That's why the soul's journey, you look within. We tend to look like from the eyes outside, but it's time to look inward. There's a world inside. Just behind these eyes is a huge magical world which is there for eons of lives. But most had left their critical minds at home. Isn't that beautiful? The analytical, critical mind, which is always negative, that the monkey mind, just they left it behind, because now they've come with a very clean space to learn and to grow. I wish I could have addressed the entire 40,000. I want to tell them to look, or stop looking for external answers, for quick fixes and quick cures. I want to tell them to look within. Now I will give advice I would like to have given to the 40,000 people so eager to change their lives. Become more spiritual. Spend more time praying, giving, helping others, loving. Volunteer and express generosity and love. Get rid of pride, ego, selfishness, anger, guilt, vanity, and ambition. Spend less time accumulating things, worrying, being in the past or in the future, hurting others, and being violent in any way. Never accept any idea before bouncing it off your intuitive wisdom. Very, 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 very important. If all of us start spending more time praying, giving to the others, helping others, doing acts of love, volunteering, and expressing the generosity and love, and we just start deleting, control all delete, pride, ego, selfishness, anger, guilt, vanity, ambition. Go. Ambition also in itself is very problematic, because if you are ambitious, no harm in it, but negative side, let's talk about it. If you're over ambitious and you haven't reached this mark, you will be always wanting to thrive here, and for that you will be you'll feel lack of joy, you'll feel lack of it. But if your ambition is here and you're moving here with passion and love and light, then great, you'll find it. Then it's a journey. But if that ambition comes with vanity and guilt, oh, haven't reached, and गुस्सा मैं वहां क्यों नहीं पहुंच पाया, and मैं मुझे पहुंचना है, मुझे इतने करोड़ कमाने हैं, मुझे करना है, then I am living in false I, me, and am, which is ego. If we start spending less time accumulating things, worrying, being in the past or the future, hurting others, and being violent in any way. Now, there are some women and men who are hoarders. अलमारी खोल के देखो, आधे से ज्यादा कपड़े पहनते नहीं है. टेबल्स पे, ड्रेसिंग रूम में या टेबल्स में या साइड टेबल्स में, घर में देखो, आधी ज्यादा चीजें काम नहीं आती, बस रखी हुई हैं. I'm not talking about decorative things. That's all right. You want to make your house pretty, you have all the right to. But जो आपके काम नहीं आ रहा, किसी और के काम आता है, why not pass the buck? Never accept any idea before bouncing it off your intuitive wisdom. Does it encourage love, kindness, peace, and unity? Or does it encourage separateness, division, hate, self-centeredness, and violence? You are immortal. You are here to learn, to grow wise, to become godlike. What you learn here, you take with you when you die. You cannot take anything else. It is so simple. The kingdom of heaven is within. Stop seeking gurus and instead find yourself. Soon you will find your real home. Now, this is a power statement. हम जाने अनजाने में all of us are finding a माध्यम, a teacher, a channel, a guru कि वो मुझे यहाँ से उस पार ले जाएगा. Actually यहाँ से उस पार कौन जाएगा? आप. उस पार मतलब हायर रेल्म, उस पार मतलब होम. वहां जाने के लिए आपको किसी की गाइडेंस की जरूरत नहीं है. सिर्फ सोल की जर्नी को स्टेट करने की जरूरत है, सिर्फ फ्लो करने की जरूरत है. Flow in things, in feelings of love. Anything lack of love is a clear definition that it is not taking you home, it is taking you below. Chapter number 12 is very powerful. It's about psychics and mediums. We just talked about channeling. Channeling is also done through mediums. Meeting one's soul in different level is also done through mediums. Psychics are people with intuitive abilities of healing and so much more. We'll talk about them and let's read them. And maybe you'll find that maybe you are a psychic or a medium, or maybe you're in the process of becoming one. Let's tap into it. Learning in the spiritual state is much faster, far accelerated from learning in the physical state. But we choose what we need to learn. If we need to come back to work through a relationship, we come back. If we are finished with that, we go on. In spiritual form, you can always contact those that are in physical state if you choose to, but only if there is importance there. If you have to tell them something and they must know. Sometimes you can appear before that person and look the same way you did when you come here. Other times you just make a mental contact. Sometimes the messages are cryptic, but most often the person knows what it pertains to. They understand it's mind to mind contact. So we are on Mother Earth. And we are blessed with this physical body that helps us advance our lives. But the etheric body, the spiritual body, when you tap into that power, say subconscious mind's power, your spiritual learning is super fast. But we wait. We wait to tap into what we are meant to learn. We have chosen that on a spirit level, but we've forgotten that on a physical level. And we are waiting for the knocks and shocks of life, the taps on our shoulders, or sometimes loving kindness from our ancestors and say, hey, walk there. If we have a problem with a relationship, whether it's with ourselves or with others, and if we don't solve that relationship, then we have to reincarnate. But if we have finished, opened all the knots, then we are liberated, then we are enlivened, then we are enlightened, and then we'll get free from this life of coming back on Mother Earth. Sometimes people come in our life to shake us, to make us, to break us. I said shake us, make us, break us. No. Shake, break, make. They shake us, they break us, they absolutely break us so that we can rise like a phoenix. In that book we read, the book Power by Rhonda Byrne, she has termed such people PETs, personal emotional trainers. They personally come to emotionally challenge you, but train you in becoming a better version of yourself. There are times when you just make a mental connect and you say, telepathy, आज तो कुछ मांगा होता तो मिल जाता, अभी ये बोलो और देखो ये manifest हो गया, because आपकी उस समय thoughts energy pure थे. Sometimes messages are cryptic. You have to understand, construe. Dr. Weiss says, from my research and experience with thousands of patients and my investigation into the abilities of some of the most talented psychic mediums in the world, it appears that we are not alone in the universe. Beyond our physical dimension, the unseen world appears to be populated by a myriad of spirits and varying abilities and progression. हमें naked eye से भले ही नहीं दिखता हो, but these higher energy beings are always around us. अगर आप एक कमरे में आज बैठे हो, not to scare you all, living souls, or I should say souls that have incarnated in a human body on Mother Earth are this much, and the number of souls apart are this much. So when there's 1:2, don't know how many times the, you know, combination, then around you there will be spirits whether you can see or not. Right now also when we are in session, we know that the higher beings are around us. Now these spirits, some are highly evolved and others are much less so. Some have had physical lives on earth and are in between lifetimes. Others have graduated and do not have to return unless they choose, in order to help mankind, like Mother Earth. Like so many people who are absolutely great, wonderful, but they choose to come and help. Or they are like we heard about that lady yesterday. She could not go into a past life because her memory was blocked. She was told to come and help and to spread love and compassion because she had done so much of study and going within in so many lives that she was now time for her to give out. Others have not incarnated in our physical world, helping us from the other side. But कितने लोग हम लोग में से इस magical energy के अंदर tap in करते हैं? Whether we call them spirits or angels or guides or higher beings, it does not matter. There is considerable anecdotal evidence that they exist, and the evidence has been gathered from many diverse cultures and religions over many centuries. So whether आपको believe है कि नहीं है, you are surrounded with higher energy beings. Lower energy beings also. So when you are in anger and depression and frustration, you have to know to cleanse your aura because they have come and latched onto you because that's the bandwidth you're giving, and they come and just come to sticker like Fevicol. And then anger है तो और anger आएगा, depression तो और depression आएगा, sadness है तो और sadness आएगी because that's what you're giving. So the best thing to change your DNA, your energy frequency when you're feeling low is to start going into the world of gratitude, 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 immense gratitude, and you see your energy shifting. Or think about somebody who changes the quality of your thoughts in which come from, heart, because heart gives emotions. यहाँ से thoughts आते हैं, यहाँ से emotions आते हैं. Emotions are a much powerful way to counteract with what the thoughts come. Babies and young children are often aware of the loving spirits or energies around us, but their communication skills are limited. We adults tend not to believe them, relegating their observations and perceptions to the realm of imagination and fantasy. Yet what they are aware of is often very real. When we die and leave our physical bodies, we proceed to the level of consciousness at which we are most comfortable. The more loving and wise we are, the more advanced we will be on the other side. I'm still amazed by the similarity of the knowledge my patients transmit to me while they are in deep meditative or hypnotic states. High school dropouts, nuclear physicists, attorneys, and professional athletes alike tell me virtually the same things about the spiritual state and the purpose on this earth. This tends considerable credence to their experience. This lends it. The minute you are in that world that, I am guided, I am surrounded by the higher beings, that there is power and I need it. And this can only happen when we go in deep meditative states, often trance-like. It doesn't matter. Some people like keep doing this while meditating. It's okay, you're in a trance. Technically, your back has to be straight, but that time, आपको लग रहा है कि आपको नींद आ रही है, but actually आप एक और realm से connect कर रहे हो, और कई बार actually नींद भी आ जाती है. Then you have to wake yourself. Hey, wake up, have a glass of water. It's okay to open your eyes and have a glass of water and say no. Or sometimes it's okay to flow. But if that becomes a habit, we must change. Once more, I want to emphasize that these findings, clinical accumulated from many hundreds of patients. Finding so much similarity and so many correlations is highly significant statistically. Certain individuals are more adept at communicating knowledge from spiritual sources. The late American psychic Edgar Case is one example, and his work has been carefully studied and analyzed. We all know about the skill of some of the seers and clairvoyants of the East, such as Paramahansa Yogananda. But people with similar abilities also exist in the Western world. I have been blessed to meet with a few of them, and I have been doubly blessed to discover that their work validates experiences and accounts of my patients. So, Paramahansa Yogananda was guided to spread spirituality in the Western countries. And yoga, the word that we use, came in from here. These are channeled Kriya Yoga. These are all the school of Ananda that I go to, the ashram, Ananda ashram. That this is where he and all his teachers, beginning from Krishna or Jesus, they claim Mahavtar Babaji next, who is the walking light on Mother Earth, and then all the people under his students, and finally Paramahansa Yogananda. They have increased spirituality in the world. Their teachings come in the form of books, and they really help. So they have been known to be clairvoyants and seers. The teachers I remember talking to you about this couple of days ago are people with light that you can't even click their physical body in a photograph because they choose to be light. The picture just feels that they're not there. I evaluate my experiences with the trained mind of a psychiatrist. Being analytical is completely compatible with being open-minded. I have met people with amazing abilities, and I have met those whose skills are limited or non-existent. Spirits as well as people are of many levels. Those of the lower levels can transmit misleading or even harmful messages, usually to people with limited mediumistic ability or lack of proper spiritual development. So again, I repeat, when you are in a trance state, remember whatever you are being guided. If it is full of love, it is the higher beings. If it is lack of love, the fear दिखा रहा है कि अरे ऐसा हो जाएगा, to understand that the negative or the lower frequency or the lower level souls are there who are feeding into you harmful messages of self-hurt by not believing. There are some of us who think, अरे हम तो spiritually evolve हो गए, हम तो meditation करेंगे तो ये मिलेगा, वो मिलेगा, ऐसा मिला, ऐसा मिला. Analyze क्या मिला. Write about it. Spirits of higher levels seem to be accessible only to those people with higher spiritual development or to those with proper intent. Those without ulterior motives for self-gain at the expense of others. It doesn't matter whether you're meditating for 10 years or 10 minutes. What is the quality of your thought? What is your intention? That determines which soul is going to come and guide you in your meditative state. If you have an ulterior motive of I, me, and am, छोड़ दो, मिलेगा ही नहीं. But if you want to serve the mankind, अपने आप मिलेगा. जब निस्वार्थ सेवा करोगे, अपने आप channeling आएगी ही आएगी. रोजमर्रा में अपने आप से पूछो, मैंने आज ऐसा क्या किया which can help raise somebody's consciousness or raise the feeling of joy, happiness. Have I spread my kindness? When you meet a seer or wise teacher whose motive is to help others to understand, to heal other people's hearts, and to assist them on the spiritual path, a profound shift in your consciousness can occur. The world will seem different, filled with unseen helpers and bathed in a loving energy that refreshes and renews your soul. You yourself may spontaneously experience other life-transforming events, dreams, déjà vu experiences, clairvoyant episodes, and other paranormal occurrences, including NDEs that can induce a permanent awakening to the true, real nature of reality. meditation can increase the likelihood that one or more of these experiences may happen. So if we are in a state of meditation every day, every day, every day, then there are chances that we will have these beautiful guidances. There are times when I put an alarm on my phone or when I meditate, my phone is always on flight mode or silent mode, no vibration, nothing, because I just want to be in meditation. But there have been times when I haven't put an alarm and I realize, shit, 2 hours chale gaye. You just say meditation. You start flowing. Then time becomes immaterial. But sometimes, even 15 minutes, अभी बस 15 मिनट हुए हैं, लग रहा तो बहुत time हो गया. क्योंकि monkey mind is clattering away, chattering away. And there are days that I'm not able to meditate because I'm so spiritual, so off late. There's an international club that's coming up. I'm bringing it to India, and so much of work. And sometimes my laptop is, I can't shut it in like in my own good time, and then I can't sleep. It's happened past few days ago, and again it happened last night. Why? Because monkey mind gets precedence. You're allowing it to serve, and then how do you meditate? How do you do your good things? You can't sleep because your mind is so charged. Nighttime, these screens do not help our body release the right hormones, and we're not able to sleep. So we humans tend to forget, or at least to rationalize and minimize any experience we consider improbable or extraordinary. Moreover, we allow our logical mind to subtract the spiritual meaning from the experience. Someone once said that what we call coincidences are really God's fingerprints. I always say there are no coincidences, there are magical interventions, the divine synchronicities, because we are meant to witness them and to learn something from them. And if we say this is voodoo or this is just like coincidences, then we are nullifying the existence of spirituality or spirit's real actual reality. And we cannot change our personality until we change our personal reality. And what is your personal reality? Nobody will know better than you. Nobody can say you've reached here, here. You have to tap into that. It's as simple as that. I cannot regress enough of you, nor can I train enough therapists to treat everyone in the world. I can, however, share these two stories and experiences with you, reminding you once again about your spiritual nature and about the abundant, loving, and helping energy that fills and surrounds you at all times. As a Christian mystics taught, you are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. हमें बहुत बड़ी बात लगती है, अरे ये आया मेडिटेशन में, वो आया, अरे वाह, अरे that's the world we are from. ह्यूमन लाइफ में जो चीजें हो रही हैं वो हमको हो रही हैं. But how many of us understand that? Dr. Weiss says, as I've explored more and more of the human mind and the limits of consciousness, I have come across some people with extraordinary abilities. Some can access information not normally available through the five senses. They seem to possess a sixth sense, an inner knowing or intuition, and sometimes the information received in this manner can be very accurate. Others have mediumistic abilities, the capacity to receive and to transmit messages and knowledge from beings on the other side, whether from spirit guides, from loved ones who have died, or from any other sources of consciousness outside the usual limits of the body and the brain. People who are truly gifted need not cheat, use tricks or magic. They know things they cannot know under any presence or conceptions of how human minds operate. Their abilities are real. On the other hand, the field of physics and mediums is filled with opportunists, fakes, and manipulators. It is important to be able to separate the real ones from the fake. Here are some rules of thumb. So just these thumb rules, go through them so that you understand our spiritual life, our spiritual being. We are beings who are spiritual, period. What are the thumb rules? We are all psychics and we all possess intuitive abilities far beyond that we know or use. Whether हम realize करें, whether हम नहीं realize करें, हम सबके अंदर इंट्यूशन है. तभी कई बार वो गट फीलिंग आती है, अरे मुझे ऐसा आभास हो रहा है, मुझे ऐसे गाइडेंस हो रहा है. ये सब क्या है? We are born with this intuitive ability. को subconscious mind guide कर रहा है, बॉस ये करो. So carefully weigh any information or material you receive from a psychic on the scales of your own intuitive wisdom. आपकी intuition आपको बताएगी ये इंसान सही है कि गलत है. If the information given to you does not feel right or does not feel fit, it probably is incorrect. You are psychic too. कई बार होता ना, नहीं ये इंसान सही नहीं, अरे नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं, मुझे नहीं विश्वास है. ठीक है, that's your trust process. Don't become blind when people say अरे इसमें ये है, इसमें ये है, इसमें. Witness for yourself. Let your heart tell you. Second, all the information received by psychics or mediums is necessarily processed by the medium before it can be transmitted to you. Therefore, the information can be significantly distorted by the psychic's mental processes. The amount of distortion depends on the medium's individual agenda. Psychics are human, so even a gifted psychic can deliver distorted information if his or personal problems, moods, concerns, or desires interfere with the psychic process. Opportunists usually charge a lot of money. There are a lot of spiritual beings who are amazing. But when they start making spirituality a dhanda, a profession, and they charge obnoxiously high, and they say iske baad ek aur, iske baad ek aur, iske baad ek aur, and I am this, I am that, arre ye kar lete hain, arre wo kar lete hain, then we must try to exit quickly when we become aware of these tactics. I was amazed to find that in South America, gifted mediums and healers, many of whom make their living in other professions, will often travel to the home of a financially needy person who needs help or healing. They take time off from their work, pay for their own transportation, charge their clients nothing. Several of these visits may occur over a week or two interval. Real psychic, real medium, they just will go out there. Number 4. True growth is an inner process. While a psychic can help you learn to access your inner wisdom with enough meditation, you become your own psychic and transcend the need for external guidance. This is a very powerful statement. जब हम ज़्यादा meditate करते हैं, हम इतने intuitive हो जाते हैं, synchronicities happen, then we stop needing outside people. In the beginning, however, the validation from a psychic or medium functioning with a minimal account of distortion can be very helpful. Psychic and mediumistic abilities are not necessarily correlated with spiritual evolution. Some very gifted mediums have been known to behave quite selfishly, even despicably, don't confer unwarranted spiritual status on someone merely because he or she possesses extraordinarily paranormal activities or abilities. You set yourself up to be manipulated and victimized when you believe that because a medium is talented, he or she is necessarily an ethical person. A true example of this is, so said Babas and Gurus in this world, our faith becomes blind and we become blind. Number 6, it is wise to remember that for the most part, mediums and psychics are not therapists or mental health counselors trained in therapeutic techniques. Do not expect your fears, symptoms, or problems to disappear miraculously in the wake of a session with a psychic. Do not anticipate a therapeutic interpretation that will suddenly tie all your issues together and provide a healing understanding. This is not what they do. Lacking years of training, most are not prepared to analyze and interpret the material that may arise. They discern it and they present it to you. You may receive a glimpse into another world, and this glimpse may be extremely valuable and healing to you, but such a glimpse is not psychotherapy. If a medium tells you something inaccurate or even hurtful, remember that he or she is not necessarily a wise and compassionate therapist. Judge the medium, if you must, the same as you would any other person. Do not surrender your power or integrity to anyone. Number 7. While we often admire and even envy people with advanced psychic or mediumistic abilities, we should not lose sight of our real goals. We are here to learn and to grow as spiritual beings, to become more loving and more compassionate, to achieve a balance and harmony in our lives, to feel and maintain balance and harmony, to achieve balance and harmony. Whatever solid sense of peace we have, just to continue on that. We are not here, again, with some few exceptions, to become famous psychics. Psychic and mediumistic talents may increase as we progress along the spiritual path, but they are not the goal. You can't say, मुझे psychic और मुझे medium बनना है. थोड़ी ना होता है. वो intention हो सकता है वो, but that is the wrong intention. That's a process. They line the path, they shed some light on the trail, but they are not an end in themselves. Years ago, I heard a story about Buddha and his disciples. One day they were meditating in a quiet garden when one of the disciples, deep in a meditative state, began to levitate. Feeling his body lifting itself up from the ground, he became very excited and very proud of his accomplishment. He stirred himself from his meditation, and felt himself back on the ground. He stood up and walked over to Buddha. I have mastered levitation, the disciple announced. That's nice. But don't let it distract you from your meditation. Isn't that beautiful? आप लेविटेट कर रहे हो, हवा से में जा रहे हो, फिर भी आपको आपके टीचर बोल रहे हैं उसको डिस्ट्रैक्ट होने मत दो. जब हमें बहुत ज्यादा चैनलिंग आती है, मैसेजेस आते हैं, हम ओवर एक्साइट होकर उसकी पावर को लूज कर सकते हैं बिकॉज वी आर बिजी just experiencing that moment again and again in a loop. Some gifted people appear to be able to communicate with spirits on the other side. However, we may interpret the possible methods and mechanisms something very real and powerful is happening. Because someone has died and returned to spiritual form does not immediately confer great wisdom to this being. The same is true for spiritual guides and guardians. There exists a hierarchy of levels from ignorant and foolish spirits to those who are truly advanced masters. And even in the higher realm, there are the higher souls that are helping the lower frequency souls. And oftentimes, they are the soul family of that spirit that has just gone or is in a lower frequency. They are helping. Not like here. यहाँ एक बुद्धू स्टूडेंट मिलेगा, हम हाथ छोड़ दें क्या आप समझते ही नहीं हो, you don't want to understand, forget it, I can't work with you. In the highest realm, they are at it. I was trying to help somebody heal. His both kidneys have given up. Lovely wife he had, and he has. And I just realized that in helping him, I was losing my own essence because he would only talk negative stuff about the people who were in his life. And I realized he'd become a energy vampire for me. When I would talk to him for an hour and a half, I would feel so low after that. And it started manifesting in my body as physical problems. So I had to cut cords. Sometimes it's very important to understand that if people are there from lower, like they say, don't leave them. But whether you choose that abyss or how you do is my consciousness told me to just let go and move on. I invested days and months of my life, hours of my life with him and his wife. She also became pretty sick because she was absorbing his negativity. So I had to help her cleanse herself. I had to help myself cleanse myself. So it is very important to discern the differences. If someone is channeling a foolish and ignorant spirit, why in the world should you listen to what is being said? Today अगर मैं बुद्धू हूँ, मेरी डेथ हो जाती है और मैं चैनल करती हूँ, तो बुद्धूपन आएगा। और अगर मैं बुद्धा हूँ एंड अगर मैं ऊपर ट्रांसेंड एनलाइटन हो जाती हूँ एंड आई हैव ब्रोकन माय सेल्फ फ्रॉम दिस लूप ऑफ लाइफ एंड इफ आई एम channeling through somebody, Buddha's type quality of thoughts आएंगी. So how do you know? $1 million question. Again, we are being guided to use our own intuitional wisdom. हमारी intuition, हमारा gut feeling, हमारा दिल हमें क्या बोलता है? You can recognize higher level spirits by the loving content as well as the accuracy of their messages. They often have access to private details and validate the experience. Number 9. The messages may receive messages from the other side in the form of symbols, metaphor, or visions. Like for me, whenever I see one-to-one, which is very, very often, I know my angels are saying that you're on the path, make this shift and keep moving on. When you see 111 or 4 times 1, and you know new beginnings around the corner, listen to the messages. So every number speaks to us, whether it's a symbol, whether it's metaphor, whether it's vision. What is it that you see? This part of the communication might be very accurate. However, in an attempt to interpret or make sense of the symbol, the medium often introduces distortion to the message. The medium's interpretation could be misleading or inaccurate. For example, the medium might become aware of a rose, ask the client has a garden, or if flowers are important to the client may become confused. In actuality, the image could be reference to the client's deceased grandmother whose name was Rose. Ideally, the medium should merely describe what he or she sees. Does rose mean something to you? So when we also do Akashic reading, I don't do too much because I'm still learning, I feel. There are sometimes I have also tried to give meaning to something and I realize that's not my job. Whatever I see is what I'm supposed to say. What could be meaningless to me could be very meaningful to the person who I'm doing the Akashic reading, who's, Hall of Records I'm tapping. It's very, very important to be truthful to yourself. Sometimes, particularly when the messages received are in the form of words, the medium may find the communication unclear, as if he or she were listening to a radio with heavy static. Words can be misinterpreted under these conditions. This interference explains why mediums are often asking the spirits with whom they are in contact for a yes or no answer to the question. The answers tell them whether they are accurate, reading or interpreting the signals being received. And when I did Akashic, my unified book learnings really helped me to get the right symbols and clues and, Number 10. Gifted psychics and mediums can help us enormously, especially when they provide glimpses of the other side and bring us messages from our departed loved ones. Through them, we experience the reality of life after death, the nature of our immortal souls, the opportunities for being reunited with the family and friends. They can provide guidance about how to live our lives, about values, about what is important and what is not. But ultimately, we need to experience these things directly and within ourselves. When we experience, then we really know. When we can hear or see or sense our deceived loved one directly, then we know we are separated only in a temporary way. When we can, with ecstasy and wonder, directly experience the divine, we awaken like the sages and mystics before us. And this, my dear friends, is the most beautiful gift we can give to ourselves. I distinctly remember COVID ka time tha. One of my brother's best friends, his daughter was in the ICU. I get goosebumps when I talk about it. And I don't know why. I felt I couldn't become a Bua in real life because I lost him soon, my brother soon. And that baby, without having met that girl, I was attached to her. And I called upon my father in law and my brother because they're the two loved ones who have deceased, who I knew them very well. I said, come and help me heal. And my brother in law, my Devar and Devrani, were also sick with COVID, really sick. They were also really in a room and they were in a bad state. I said, I need your help. And believe you me, I can't even begin to say that night at about 3:30, I was sitting on this sofa in a deep trance where I felt that girl's weight on my right arm. And it was like there's a lot of weight on my, as if, and torrential barish. I mean, I was sitting so far inside the room, but torrential barish, I just felt like I'm being drenched. And then I realized that Rishi and Papa, my brother and my father-in-law soul, were showering blessings on the girl, and I was just a medium. And I knew that she had had divine healing. And I may have spoken about this before to some of you. And then at that time, at about 3:30, I messaged Sudhanshu and his wife that I went to this experience and tomorrow your daughter will be out of ICU and she'll be recovering. And I know it. I've just witnessed her healing. And true to the word, next morning the bacha was out. 1 week of ICU, doctors had given up. Sudhanshu was in a bad state, the doctors have given up. And doctors giving up, we know what that means, right? And the bacha really healed. So what are your intentions? That depends on what will get channeled through you. The day I'm selfish, that I want to do something, I'm the channel for something, like, selfish. Nothing comes through. Like a wall, like a veil just drops in between the spiritual world and me. So then I clear my energies and then I sit and I say, if anything untowards lack of love comes, just bounce away. Don't attach with that. And then magic happens. So we can all develop this. We're all gifted. Some of us realize it early in the day, some of us realize it later. But we are all intuitive, we are all psychic, we are all healers. Now, the $1,000,000 question comes, or the answer comes. There are many ways to increase your own psychic sensitivities. Listen to and trust your intuition. सिंपल चीज है, अगर आप किसी को ट्रस्ट करते हो तो वो आपको बोलता है कि हाँ मुझे पता है, मैं कुछ भी बोलूं, पापा विल ट्रस्ट मी बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ द रिलेशनशिप इज. बट अगर आप बार 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 झूठ बोलते हो तो ये कंडीशन की आई कांट ट्रस्ट. सो जब आपकी इंट्यूशन आपको कुछ बोलती है रादर देन डाउटिंग कि सही है कि रॉन्ग है, say I trust your process, thank you for your guidance, thank you for the intuition. And then see the magic. When you start believing, so much more starts unfolding. Observe how often you're correct. For example, when the phone rings, guess who's calling? The first name or thought that pops into your awareness is often the most accurate. Play this game. Practice similar intuitional games whenever you have the opportunity. That is, what color will your friend be wearing when you meet later? Many of the exercises you will find later in this book, such as psychometry, faces, energy scanning, and visualizations, will also allow you to further practice and refine your own psychic and intuitive abilities. Mediumistic skills also may emerge when you book when you work with these exercises. The two longer meditations in Appendix B will provide powerful practice as well. So we will come around to these exercises gradually, slowly. We are just building our muscle of tapping our own healing potential, our own psychic abilities, our own intentions. The art of meditation is also discussed in more detail later. The regular practice of meditation or related introspective techniques also open psychic channels and allows you to experience the psycho-spiritual world directly. Your intention to open yourself to psychic and mediumistic experiences is also important. What is it that you believe? Aapki intention kya hai? I'm ready to become a medium. I'm ready to trust my psychic abilities. Yes, if it is, then how? Before going to sleep, instruct yourself to be receptive to psychic dreams and messages. Ask for them to occur and remember to journal experiences upon awakening. मैंने कई बार बोला है dream journaling. आप लोगों में जिन लोगों ने journals भी लिए थे, there is one journal called dream journaling. Dream journaling can be inferred as two. One is where you write about your manifestations. One is what dreams are coming and you're just writing them, like auto writing them. उठते के साथ ही और हम लोग क्या करते हैं, अगर सपोज 6 बजे का सेशन है हमारा, तो हम 5:30 या 5:45 उठते हैं. उसके बाद तो बाथरूम जाना है, पानी पीना है, टाइम ऐसे निकल जाता है. पर अगर हम 6 की जगह 5 बजे शुरू करें, उठते के साथ ही we just start journaling, writing, हमारी muscle build-up होगी to be more open, to be more receptive of the dream world messaging. And every night, if you talk about this, so it's nicer to create in the night your own sound affirmations and some message for yourself so that you get tuned to listening to that and sleep to that. Even the growing awareness that your real nature is spiritual will increase the likelihood and of you having mystical and psychic experiences. Your mind will become more comfortable and familiar with such phenomena, encouraging even more events to happen. I genuinely, truly feel हम सब limited लोगों ने soul की journey शुरू करी है, because कहीं ना कहीं हम ready हैं इस healing के लिए. First month में हमारा जो session है अभी, not much is going to happen. After 3 weeks, like, today is day 16. After another 6-7 days, you can hope for some changes because you're getting prepared for it. And then you will see magics unfolding like how. And Dr. Wayne Dyer says, you will see it when you believe it. Ulta nahi. When you believe it, you will see it nahi hota. कि मैंने देखा तो मुझे विश्वास हो गया. लेकिन जब हमें विश्वास है तो हमें दिख पाएगा. इतना सिंपल है, इतना सरल है. Let's hear a story from Dr. Wise before we close the day. Just about another page of reading. A patient of mine was grieving deeply over the death of her son. He had died in 1994 at the age of 13. His death was sudden, unexpected due to an undiagnosed enlargement of his heart. His sister was with him when he died. The family decided to see me to help cope with the tragedy. Now, 2 years later, the mother came to the office with her husband, her 12-year-old daughter, and an infant daughter who was hungry and fidgeting. She went off with the baby to breastfeed while the other two waited with me in my office. We began talking about driving, and the father suddenly looked very sad. What is wrong? I asked. My son would have been 15 now. I would be teaching him to drive if he were alive. I've always looked forward to driving with him, and now I will never have the opportunity, he said quietly. We discussed his sadness for a while and then moved on to other subjects. When mother and baby returned, I began a guided imagery exercise with the mother and older daughter. Father was walking the baby to sleep in the back of my office. I instructed the two participants to visualize a beautiful treasure chest and to fill this chest with those things they really need in their lives. Quietly, the mother began to weep. Later on, I asked her what she'd experienced. I saw my son, and he was very vivid and real to me. I decided to put him into the treasure chest, and he then spoke to me. You don't have to put me into the treasure chest, he said, but I want you with me all the time. I am with you all the time. I love you all. Tell daddy he's right. I love to drive with him, especially when he's by himself. She had not known about her husband's sadness and regret to our early conversation. Her powerful vision and conversation with her son helped her greatly in beginning to heal her grief. This was her own experience, and she received immediate validation from her husband and her older daughter. She had made a contact with her son. She felt that she had indeed talked to him. Her family bonded around this direct experience with him. They still grieved, but the recovery had started. We are all spiritual beings. We are all capable of having direct psychic and mediumistic experiences, just as his grieving mother did with her son. Like Pele, I used to always think that when I have to connect with Rishi and Papa, I need to go to the soul connectors and they will connect me to them. Now I don't. The day I want them, they'll be there. Because now I trust my own intuitive power. I trust that that veil between Papa, me, Rishi, me is lifted. Yet for the majority of us, it is easier to receive such messages from the other side in a slightly more indirect way from the gifted medium whose heart is in the right place. The impact of these messages from a deceased loved ones, can still be extremely powerful and life transforming. Tomorrow we'll read another story, another learning. For me, this book is full of therapeutic powers. I think I just heal by reading it. It's really beautiful. Anyway, let's close our eyes, straighten our backs, place our feet firmly placed on the ground or cross-legged, however you seated. Just relax and become comfortable. Align your back to become as straight as can be because it'll help you to go deeper in your meditation. Take a deep breath in and an even deeper breath out. Balance it. If you wish, I can help you with the counting and then you can go on your own. Take a deep breath in, count to 7. Keep counting until you keep breathing. 1, 2, keep expanding. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now just hold your breath if you can. These counts can be anything from 3 to 7, whatever works for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gently start exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, when you are exhaling, your stomach goes inward. One, it expands like a balloon. One, it deflates and goes inward. Again, hold 7 times. Out, the breath is out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So whatever count is comfortable, it's a box count. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. So try and do 3, 4, 5, whatever counts you can. Now, tap into your own intuitive ability. If there's any message you would like to get an answer, pose the question loudly to your higher self, to your angels, spirits, guides, mentors around you, to channel the answer through you. and trust the process. Trust your intuition, trust your channeling, trust the guidance, thank it, and continue to go inwards by asking the questions, or just simply asking that whatever's meant for you at this point, may that unfold for you without expecting anything specific. Allow the process to unfold by trusting the universe and the process of life. And continue to meditate on your own, even when session closes, because this will enhance your beautiful mind to tap into the infinite potential. Blessed be. Be blessed, everybody. I'll see you in the gap tomorrow, but continue to meditate. Continue to go inward into your trance and with your, and whenever your mind wanders and the monkey mind starts chattering, again do the box breathing for a couple of breaths until you become centered, balanced, aligned. That's the best way to pull yourself back in your spiritual state. And gradually you will start seeing the beautiful evolution. So requesting everybody to at least meditate for 5 or 10 more minutes before you break the day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.